Hey, this is MassX with a new Bleach Immortal Souls video. This one is coming at you specifically requested by you guys out there to go over the SSR characters. And I thought that was really a good idea. One, because they're a lot of times more free to play friendly, as well as there are some real gems out there in the SSRs. So let's just get started. Let's scroll through here and let's start with one that most people know, Unohana. She's a must as an SSR. You've got Unicide to use her on, even if you don't use her for Unicide, like I don't. I actually have mine leveled just for her skill set alone. I mean, come on, regenerate HP to all allies, boom, until Christmas Orihime came out. She was the best healer in the game. She's got upside because she slows rage recovery on males on the opposing side, etc., etc. We all know about her, so no reason to belabor her. But Unohana, definitely. Another one that I never want to look past. Probably not as good as she was before, but man, there are situations where she just comes out handy as Soifon. She can get that insta-kill sometimes, not as much as she used to because of the power creep in the game, but she's definitely a good offensive character, and in particular, if you're building all-female teams, I use her in my all-female team. Let's go with more SSRs here. Geen, I'm going to pass. He used to be really good. He's faltered since they nerfed Poison, as well as Ishin. So I'm going to skip over those two. Not saying they're bad. Another one that everybody knows about, Mayuri. I don't need to belabor it. He's a must. Even people that spend money, I use him all the time. He's great. You can't beat him with his stun, poison. He's a good tank. Very good to have around. Another one, Yorichi. I don't use her much. I have on occasion. I used to use her in my female team, not as much anymore. I've switched it up. She is a great frontline tank if you have her accessible. Loopy, trash. Lisa, another good SSR, great offensive. She's got crush, nails that back line. Yes, she's a little glassy, so she can get killed, but if you build her the right way, and you have good protection on your front line, I use her also in my all-female team. She's great. Let's see what else we got here. Another good one, Hiyori, good tank, frontline tank, respectable. Again, if you're trying to cut corners, save some money, definitely she's worthy of. Jashiro, of course. I mean, the one upside to her is her skill set. Deals damage to all enemies and dispels buffs. And we know how that goes. It can dispel the Sage Halls. She's just a good all-around utility character. Well worth the investment in. Especially if you're going second, you don't have initiative to dispel those buffs. If you can get her to go off, definitely worthy to be using. Let's get back to where we are. Renji, let's pass. Even Rukia, the SSR, she's good. And I know a lot of people that still like her a lot with her freeze. But I just, every time I use her, I just don't feel like she goes off enough for me. I find better ways around what I'm trying to do. Not a big fan of hers. I know some people would disagree with me. Similar to the SSR Jashiro. Just doesn't hold his own anymore. But another good SSR tank, Love, respectable. I still use him. He's definitely worthy. And I think he's great. The gems of the SSRs, well, actually, let's finish off some of the older characters. Jashiro, without a doubt, worth it. Again, free to play, cutting corners. Just trying to make good teams. Definitely a good character, as well as Tosin, as well as Matsumoto. Those three, all good. They have upsides, well worth the time. Let's go with more of the gems of the newer espadas, which really have some freaking amazing SSRs. Halabel Ssr. I've been using her now for probably about, I don't know, 4 to 6 weeks. She's just, I don't go crazy building her. I use her in worlds, situational. But man, the more I use her, the more I like her. If you're not familiar with her skill sets, her mastery skill deals damage to a single enemy and regenerates 65% of the damage dealt to her HP. Awesome. Her rage skill adds 2 stacks of Ryatsu, then deals damage to an enemy column. If the targeted attack is a single character, she recovers 400 rage after using this skill. Halabel gains 3 stacks of Ryatsu at the beginning of the battle. What does that do? Each stack increases the character's damage reduction rate and damage rate by 3.5%, and 5% of the character's total HP is regenerated when this stack is added. She's just a great SSR, and you can build teams with her that she just does a heck of a lot of damage. She tanks. Here's her passive skill. It increases her damage reduction rate. Nice. At the beginning of the ally round, if Halabel is subject to any control effects, she gains 2 stacks of spiritual pressure and removes all control effects from herself. Come on, you gotta love that. If she receives no attack during the round, Halabel loses 3 stacks of spiritual pressure. But what is the spiritual pressure? Each stack increases the character's damage reduction rate and damage rate by 3.5% and 5%. Again, of the character's total HP. She's just a good character. I have nothing but good things to say, as well as the SSR of Baragon. Another good tank, good skill set. He sees on ones, you're like, oh, he doesn't use them. I do use them. I use them in Worlds. I've used them before in Kenpachi contest team battles. I just don't invest it for on my server, but I pull these out. See, if you look here, I'll show you what I do. Because some characters, you're going to use them not all the time. And because, let's be honest, the costs to building these characters are ridiculous. And even though Oasis has gotten better giving us resources, they definitely aren't there yet. So what do? I use Awakened Stones, okay? And I use, I put Flow of Water on her, just one on him. And I put Kido Tome, just one on him. And I might do the clothing up one, and I'll do one on the weapon, and then put Awakened Stones. And then when you go to Kenpachi Contest or Worlds and you need extra characters, they automatically get the level boost, okay, whatever it's at, I think 93 right now, as well as the upgrades to the weapons, clothing, etc., etc. So you don't have to invest in that if you're not going to use it on your server. Now, if you're going to use it on your server, go for it. If this is going to become one of your wheelhouses against people on your server. But if not, save the money and concentrate where you want to use them on. But Baragon SSR, definitely worth it. Another one is Zazz. I just am starting to fit him in, and I need to add some Awakened Stones to him. So I can try my all Espada SSR team for maybe throw it into Kenpachi contest for fun for one of the 3 teams, because those Espadas, the SSRs, are really good, and in the right combinations, they work well. But let's go ahead and look at his skill set. Deals damage to a single enemy. Zazz dispels all buffs on the target, increases his own block chance by 20%. Good, not fabulous, but good. This is where it gets good. Rage skill restores health to Zazz and adds a permanent 10% bonus to his damage rate. Increases the rage of the ally back row. Sweet. And the rage of the ally with the lowest rage by another 100. Gotta love those characters that give rage. He does it. He does it well. He holds up well. From what I've seen, watching people on my server and Worlds, I love to play teams with characters that I haven't focused a lot on, to watch them in action. I replay those videos to see their pluses and minuses, and he's one that shows so much promise. His passive skill, the proc chance of a mastery skill, is increased permanently at the beginning of the enemy round. Zazz's damage reduction rate is increased by 7.5% for each character with full rage on the opposing team. Can't argue with that. Point is, another great SSR. Zazz, definitely without a doubt. Let's see if there's a few more here that I want to point out here for people that are interested. The Torah. I know a lot of people like him. I know there's some great combos with him. I haven't spent much time with him. So I'm not going to comment much on him. But I do know there's definitely people out there that like him a lot, to say the least. I'm not a fan of Lillinette's. I know also a few people that really like her. I think that the whole chance thing with her is I just don't like it. I like to play the percentages too much. So I haven't put a lot of time into Lillinette. Haven't even spent any time. Let's see if there's anybody else. Zamari, this is another one I do like. I don't want to miss it. Skill set on Zamari is nice. Deals damage to a single enemy if his current HP is above 50%, inflicts bleed for 2 rounds, and reduces the target's defense by 20% for 1 round. If his current HP is lower than 50%, he recovers 18% of his missing life total, and his defense increases by 10%. Not bad. This is the one I love, his rage skill, the block healing. I've had this done to me in Extreme Challenge by the AI using him, and it works well and it works efficiently. If you focus your team with him, he can definitely shut down characters from healing. I do like him. I see him being more and more in my toolbox in the future. With that being said, let's get to his rage skill. Deals damage to a single enemy, inflicts block healing on the target, and deals additional damage equal to 13% of the target's maximum HP, up to 360%. Zamari's attack using this skill increases its crit chance by 25%. Mastery skills deal additional damage equal to 50% of his attack for 2 rounds. Can't argue with that. Passive, when battle begins, the proc chance for his mastery skill increases by 60%. Gotta love that. This bonus decreases by 20% each round. Okay, but you're still getting a bonus for 3 rounds. If there's only one enemy on the field after attacking, the percentage of the HP based on the damage dealt by the attack will be regenerated. Again, definitely worth using if you're looking at SSRs, if you're looking at cheaper ways to build your characters and focusing more on the SSRs, definitely. I know there's a few others. I'm not going to get into the SRs. There are a handful of those. Sheba, I think she could be really good on 1v1. Not so sure on team if I would use her. I haven't spent much time with her. Nell, the SSR, definitely. She's worthy without breaking her all down right now. But that's it in about a nutshell of what I wanted to go through right now. The only other thing I wanted to touch on, since we're talking a little bit about free-to-play, is, again, always Ichigo. You're getting an SR that turns into a UR, so the cost is less to build him up. Definitely worth it. But probably better than him, of course, is Byakuya. Another one that I believe he starts, because it's been so long, as an SSR who becomes a UR. Another one worth putting into. I still use him religiously in lots of team formations, and actually with Stark and Nell and the whole bleed combo. He falls perfectly in with that. He's definitely worthy on him right now. I'm using a Crimson on him and a Silence, because right now the team he's on, Silence, Warsaw Silence is just really good. As long as you take the time to build your team with all defense and skill-based characters, I love using Warsaw Silence. And my Biak is on my team, and I don't believe there's one attacker on there. It's all skill-based or defensive, so they can take advantage of the Warsaw Silence, which is a huge plus. You get a 20% chance of dealing 50% increased damage and silence targets for 1 round. I mean, it's great. As long as you focus your team like that, it's great. But those two I wanted to add on because, they're not real URs. So let's throw them in this SSR discussion, because, what's the point of talking about SSRs is looking for characters that are going to be easier to build, You're going to look for, so you have to spend less resources that are actually productive and going to help you. Well, that's it for this Bleach Immortal Souls video. And I should have a couple more at you. Hopefully in the next 24 to 48 hours. I've actually got 2 days off, so I'm going to put in some time on some videos. I'm looking at finishing up my Awakened Weapon video that people have asked for, as well as a few others. But at a minimum, you're going to at least get a couple new videos, some new battles, as well as whatever else I can come up with. And hopefully you'll see a lot more coming at you from me over the next few weeks as work gives me a bit more of a break. Everybody take care. Hope everybody's doing well. Thanks again.